We now move to item 10. Is the update on the implementation of the Empowered Communities approach. We have Mr. Bodman. Is Mr. Bodman here? No.
This is interesting.
Christine here, Christine Olsen, and I think Christine had a roadshow the other day, which I think was an excellent expose. I couldn't stay for the whole process, but it seemed very good. Those councillors that went along, no doubt, are also impressed with the work that you're doing. So we're in your hands, Christine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name's Christine Olsen, and I'm the manager of the Community Empowerment Unit. My departmental manager, Graham Bodman, will be joining me any minute. So I will take the report as read. One thing I would just say is, at the time of writing, because the go live of the new unit was put back to 1 October, at the time of writing the report, the focus had, by necessity, been very much practically getting the unit set up, so getting staff recruited and inducted and ready to do their job. But happy to take any questions.
Okay. Questions? Councillor Casey.
I'd like to move the recommendation and add a B, congratulating the unit on the recent open day, because I thought that was a really good way. I think the local boards had felt out of the picture because of what you just said. The focus is on internal things. And I'd love to see a regular report to this committee outlining the achievements to date. Would be fantastic. So I think everybody who was there was impressed by the experience and commitment of the staff that the unit's employed. So I'm really looking forward to the next couple of years and it rolling out. So thanks, Christine.
Thank you. Any other? Go, Councillor Watson.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, and there are a lot of sort of highly desirable aims and things happening on the ground now when you read through this report. I just wanted to make just a general comment before I ask a question, Mr. Chair, and that really goes to some of the statements to do with you know, how this is being embraced across the organisation, the whole of council shift, and I have absolutely no doubt that it is being embraced in certain parts, but I'm just hoping, Mr. Chair, that the council is aware that people in the community often are very pragmatic and often have time constraints. So when they look to do something, their world is often different from the council one. So I've got an example. Currently, we're a very straightforward thing people want to do. We've got a little park. A couple of ladies concerned about their kids getting exposed to spray, willing to look after the park themselves. Their husbands are going to do the maintenance. They're ready to go. They've been to the local board, submitted to them. They've met people on site, and they're ready to go. They don't want to be delayed, but the process as it's rolling out is one. You know, one lady's got twins, the other lady's got work. It's not friendly towards them, and the council could be a lot more accommodating. And I suspect this goes across people as a whole to help them. And I bring it up because I notice these references to whole of council shift, and I'm in no way am I criticising the unit, but I suspect that some parts of council that shift isn't there, and I'm seeing it in this one where there's a kind of there's a delay, and you'd hope the delay is not to put people off, but in this case people are ready to go now, and they're getting caught up in a bit of a bureaucratic morass, Mr. Chair. So my question, finally going to emerge out of that, is where elected representatives or local boards have situations where, you know, the community is to be empowered and they have met all reasonable expectations, what is the response of elected members to then ensuring that does spread out to the whole of the family and is embraced as it obviously is being embraced in other parts of the council?
Through the chair. So a significant focus of the unit is on what we're calling enabling council. There's also an organisational strategy initiative which is all about enabling council. We've got 2 positions in our practice team that is their focus, and there is a lot of work to do in that area. I don't think it's going to be an overnight fix. I think it's going to be a long-term strategy, but it's definitely a significant focus. And I guess some of the things that we're already coming up against is that balancing the legislative requirements versus being more enabling. So it's definitely a key focus of ours that we need to work on.
So sorry, so there are people that are tasked to enable council to meet these, and they are people who are part of these appointees already?
Yeah, through the chair, there's 2 positions in the practice team. That is the key focus of their role.
Right, thanks.
Thank you.
If I may add, through the chair, I mean, I think also we're talking about a team of 75 people here in an organisation that's got many thousand people. And so this is the enabling council as a philosophy that's been endorsed, and we're looking to progress, but it will take time to have that cultural change and philosophy actually take track. But we were talking yesterday about a project that's being led by Stormwater in Mount Roskill, which is a wonderful example of our colleagues in Stormwater taking a real enabling, innovative approach, which is fantastic. So I think there's some good examples of this approach being taken across the organisation, which we're looking to encourage and promote and support.
Thank you. Councillor Crum.
I just wondered whether, is this the same vein when you read in the implementation part of the report about the checklist? Application of your approach, your model to the rest of council, and you have a pilot going right now for this checklist, this toolkit that you refer to, or are you just developing that and then we'll roll it out?
Through the chair. So the checklist or toolkit is basically ready for sign-off now. We've done some workshops with other parts of council around actually just taking projects that they're currently working on through that checklist, and once it's signed off, which is imminent, we'll be rolling it out across council for people to be able to pick it up and use.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Walcott.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, and congratulations. It was a great day the other day. I've got a few questions, and I suppose I'll start off with the Maori impact statement, and just wondering, how is the Maori responsiveness progressing in the new unit, and have you got any examples of anything happening yet, or is it we're still a fair way off? And just on the emergency housing contracts, how did the Maori responsiveness framework work with that, with the Salvation Army and the West Auckland outreach, or is that still not influenced?
Sure. So in terms of the initial question, once again we've got 2 positions in our practice team, and we're just in the process of actually rewriting the job descriptions to make them specifically Māori focused, and so they will be, one of them is research, innovation and best practice, and the other one partnering and social investment. So they will have a key role in helping us to roll out the Māori responsiveness plan. We're working with Te Waka Angamua around how they can support us, and we have had some small successes where we're at a local level, so particularly I think with our Youth Connections team, where we worked quite closely with Te Waka Angamua to form a relationship with Hoani Waititi Marae, and and we're going to work very closely with them around a project. So there are some initial things, looking at a couple of areas where marae could become community hubs, but it's all in its initial phase.
Okay, and my second one is mainly a staff question. One of the concerns that I had initially with this was that the staff would actually be, there's a chance that the staff could go and kind of walk to the end of the plank and not realise there's nothing left and be hung out to dry very quickly. What protections have you got for staff that do, that will be walking the plank sometimes?
Through the chair. Yeah, I think that's a really valid concern, and it's one I share. And I guess it's my job as the unit manager to look after staff. I guess in terms of protections, we need to be really clear about what their role is, what they can and can't do. Help them to be clear about what their priority focuses are. So particularly with the strategic brokers, we're making it really clear that their focus is on delivering local board work programs, and we're just having to manage that and keep them. I mean, I guess as I understand it, one of the reasons why the brokers were in the structure kept with the unit rather than with, for example, local board services, is so that we can keep that connection and keep a kind of overview. Yeah.
And my final question, Chair, was again when it came before regional strategy, was the local boards all said they wanted this model. So are they happy with the model as rolled out so far?
Through the chair, I think it would be fair to say that there's differing levels of happiness, or not. As I understand it, I think one of the key concerns, well, there's probably two key concerns, and one is around gap in delivery through the transition process. And we're working really hard I think it's fair that there has been a gap, but we're working really hard now to make sure that by the end of this year, those work programs have been delivered. I guess the other concern for them is around the funding. Do you want to talk about that?
Through the chair. So the other concern, I think there's two other concerns. One is around the savings that we agreed through the process, the 1.6 million in this current financial year and 2 million each year thereafter, as being seen as a potential reduction in service or commitment. So that hasn't gone away in terms of expressed concern, but I'm confident that we've got a good structure in place and that we're able to work within our funding envelope and give effective and improved service. And I think the other concern has been expressed, which is around the previous staff that have been working in areas and the change and impact on individuals' concerns. But I think that as we've moved into the new model, I think those concerns have abated, and we're in a future-focused place now.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Penrose.
Yeah, thanks Chair and thanks team. Just a quick couple of things from me, and that is that actually Glenn asked one of the questions I was going to raise there, and that was around the comfort level with some of the boards as we roll into this new process. As we know, we started off with a rocky process, rocky start, and but like everything that's new, I suppose it does have its challenges. But I suppose the one thing I want to make sure is that we are actually really monitoring closely the delivery and working close with some of those boards in some challenging areas that we are actually delivering on the ground. I suppose that's number one key thing for me. We did have a presentation yesterday from through our annual plan process yesterday from Age Concern, and speaking highly of the empowering communities, which was good. But I just want to make sure that we are actually on the ground, making sure that we do deliver. We are going into a challenging year, as we know, an election year, and I'm sure it'll be something that will probably be raised. But one thing that does also concern me is around the $1.6 million savings. It's all good and well sitting around this table looking for savings, but it comes at a cost too, and there's a lot of ramifications to that. and I can use that through the energy plan process when we come to some of the big capital projects that's on the horizon at the moment. Not related to empowering communities, but cost savings come with a huge cost, and I think